Hello and welcome to our first episode of Blackfeather Paranormal Investigations. I'm pretty excited about this. I've been itching to play a game of this for a while. We couldn't do, like I said in the tweet, we couldn't do Exodus tonight because some folks are out of town, so we're going to do this instead. It's going to be very spooky, so if you are easily frightened by creepy things and creepy sounds, just a heads up with that. Yeah, we're gonna jump into it here in just a second. Before we do, I'll mention sponsors and give some links for those, and then I'll let everybody here introduce themselves and their characters, and then we'll get spooky. So first of all, sponsors. I'm just gonna type this into chat here. There are the links. Our Fundamental RPG, that's the system we're using for this game. It looks like this. You can pick up a copy on Amazon if you want the physical book, or if you'd prefer a digital version, it is currently on sale for the PDF version at coffee.com/raven/shop, just like it says right there, right above me. Just add /shop to the end of that. And like I said, the PDF version is on sale for $14.99 until the end of the month, so you can pick that up for a discount. And then also at that same website is Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life. There's some really cool Pride items that are up there right now, and more will be getting added to that in the coming days. So go check that out. There's a lot of really cool stuff. And then finally, Die Hard Dice, which are incredible dice. If you enjoy really good quality polymer metal dice in tons of different colors and combinations, I highly recommend going and checking it out. They sent me this really cool prismatic rainbow set this month that I've been using, and it looks really good on the camera, but it's even better in person. They are very cool. You can pick up your own set at dieharddice.com, and if you use the code BlackFeatherMay, all one word, capital B, capital M, you can get 10% off your order. And then finally, if you want to catch up on other shows that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. All that out of the way, we'll start at the top left with Matt. Tell us a little bit about your character and yourself.
Oh boy, it's been a long day. I am former Special Agent Jason Andrews. I deal with spooky stuff a lot. That's fine. The whiskey helps. Boy, we're doing this again, huh? Doing spooks. Great. Cool. I'm excited. That's what we're in for. This is functionally my character from the Time Travelers Monster of the Week game from last season. I'm Matt Hoodley, a content creator in various mediums, and I am so excited to be playing this character, this train wreck again of a character. So I'm very excited.
Awesome. Next we got V. Tell us a little bit about your character and yourself.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I am primarily a traditional artist. I work in watercolor and pencil sketch, as well as some digital art. And if you'd like to take a look at any of my work, you can certainly do so. I have an art Twitter, which is at Peppero Draws. That's Peppero like the candy. You can find original characters, some anime stuff if you're into anime, things like that, all up on my art Twitter. So you can check that out. But I'm going to be playing Julie. I almost said Julie Andrews. Her name is not Julie Andrews, it's Julie Morano. And she is a PhD student. She's currently getting her PhD in parapsychology. So this is something that she is very interested in. And she's also a psychic medium, which is something that was passed to her from her grandmother. Her mother does not have that ability, but she fortunately got that, even though it skipped over a generation. But yeah, she's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. She's here to learn. She's never really gotten a chance to really ghost hunt or anything. This has strictly been, up until this point, a point of study for her. And of course, you know, in her daily interactions, she's had some interaction with spirits and things like that before, but never on this sort of level. So she's super pumped to be here.
Awesome. Next we got Michael. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your character.
Hello there, I'm Michael Lane. You give me a clip, I'll give you a GIF. I will be playing Carla Candy Santioto. Very much someone that's done a whole lot of things, but their passion is as a camera person, and have done many a thing, but has been a former exorcist, doctor, comedian, pilot, done it all, but it's like here, with their friendly camera drone, to capture the most unique things on film, and maybe just chat with a ghost to help capture great scenes. Yeah, for the passion of the scene.
Love that. All right. Next we got Riley. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Riley. My character. Okay, first I'll talk about myself. I'm a knitwear designer, fiber artist. You can find me everywhere online at Arieli Knits. I'll put my link in the chat. But I am playing Arnik tonight. Arnik is 18 years old, and this is his first time on the job. He's just excelled in like the occult. He's been obsessed with it. That's kind of been his jam all growing up. So as soon as he could land a job, he decided to take it.
Awesome. All right. And to give you a quick description of what you're walking into, actually, before I do that, there is a new mechanic in this particular game that relates to viewer actions. So if you notice the little chart below me, you can still do the advantage, disadvantage, and crit, and assets and challenges. Those either the advantage lets a player roll their die twice and take the better result. Disadvantage is something that I can make them do at any point if they have one, which is roll twice and take the lower result. Crit is an automatic nat 20, and assets and challenges are basically you can increase or decrease the difficulty of the session with those. But the other one that you may notice on there is remove 5 fear. So for this particular game, there are hit points, which determine if you are alive or dead, essentially. But then you also have fear points, which determines sort of how shaken up you are. And at 5 fear points, the ghost will start to take a particular interest in that character. And at 10 or more, they kind of start singling that person out, and it can get pretty dicey. No pun intended. So at the $15 one, you can actually remove 5 fear from a ghost hunter if you want to help save them from the ghost. So that's another thing that's on there, something to watch out for this game. Yeah, so the situation that you're all getting ready to walk into, this is a refurbished or a remodeled old plantation home. So the layout, the rooms, sort of the bones of the structure are a very old plantation home. And the look of it is very modern. So the outside's been redone, repainted. The inside's probably been pretty much gutted and replaced. So as you walk in, it doesn't look like an old home inside. It looks very modern, but there's a lot of history to the location and the building itself. Before you walk in, I'm assuming you've all driven up together in the same, vehicle or caravan. You've got your trailer that you've stored your items in, and now you've gotten all those strapped on with your backpacks and whatnot, and you're getting ready to go into the building. And before you do, let me get an education roll from everyone. This is going to determine how much information you have about the ghost and the home. Okay.
I'll take a nat 20.
So Jason knows everything.
Perfect.
All right. Candy with 21. And then what was your character's name again, Riley? Muted, sorry.
Arnik.
Arnik. That's a cool name. Okay. And then Julie with an 18. Okay. So let's start with Arnik. I think pretty much like your character description. They're just happy to be here. Don't really know a whole lot about what's going on You just know that there's a ghost in there, and you're here to hunt it. For Julie, you know a little bit more. You know that this house was around during the Civil War, and there were some battles that were fought around it. Let me just turn the music down a touch. There were some battles that were fought around it. The particular area, the region that you're in, is known to have some paranormal activity. And you know that there is a story about a mercenary named Hank Campbell that kind of is tied to this region. You don't remember a whole lot of details about it, but you remember, like, he fought for both sides or something like that. Sort of a story tied to that. And then for Candy, you know a little bit more. You know that Hank Campbell was a Civil War mercenary, and that he did end up getting caught, and he was hanged for not only fighting for both sides, but also murdering a family. So definitely not a very nice person. And then Jason, Matt, your character with a nat 20, you get the full story. So you know that Hank Campbell, again, was a Civil War mercenary. He fought for both sides and was eventually hanged for murdering a family and for fighting on both sides. And the family lived in this house specifically. The family was the Brewer family. It was two dads, a small girl, and a small boy. Hank used a saber as the murder weapon and was known to be quite the drunkard. He is plagued by debt and constantly kind of hounded by people trying to collect on that. And he hates being called Henry or anyone using his full name because of that, because these debt collectors would often, come into town asking for someone with his full name, like Henry Campbell, not just Hank. So he tended to hate that. Yeah, that's all the information there is to know on this house and your ghost. I will say that there were reports from the family who's hired you to get rid of this ghost, that there's more than one. There are multiple ghosts. They've reported hearing children's voices and giggling in the home, as well as multiple male voices. But the one specifically that they want you to find and get rid of is this Hank ghost. That's the one that's being particularly aggressive and violent. So, you're all out there right on the front porch, and go ahead and grab your tokens, and you can kind of just put it into whatever room that you would like if you want to go inside. Riley, I don't think you were here for that part of the conversation when we were setting up. You can grab any one of those tokens that hasn't been claimed yet. You should be able to move all of them. And then you can keep your fear points recorded. If you click on it, left click on it, there's a little red circle at the top left. You can just put your fear points into that to keep track of it, and that way I can click on it and see how interested in you the ghost is.
Okay.
All right, so starting off, looks like we've got who's the purple one?
That would be me.
All right, so Julie and our camera person, Candy, have gone into the library. Okay. We've got, who's our blue one with the flower?
Hello.
All right, so Jason, you're in the foyer, right in, just barely inside the home. And then, sorry, one more time, your character name?
Arnick.
Arnick is in the dining room. Okay. So, right as you open the front doors, they're really fancy, like double doors that you open and they go inwards. So you really get like the full grandeur of this home. As soon as you open the doors, all the lights are off. And it is very cold in the house. Not like freezing cold, not quite see your breath cold. But the temperature does seem lower than it should be for a early summer evening, especially for the region that you're in. In the foyer, Jason, you see there are stairs that go upstairs, and you can also see that there's the way the floor plan's laid out. There's some open spaces where you can kind of see walkways to the second floor. So there's sort of sections of the second floor that are just sort of cutouts. So you can see up into the second floor a bit. It's very dark, so it's a little difficult to make anything out just immediately. And then to the right of the foyer is the dining room where Arnik is, and it's set up really fancy. There's a long, very heavy-looking wooden table with a table runner and tablecloth. There's very fancy candelabras on it with candles. There's a very expensive-looking chandelier hanging over the top of that, and there's about 8 place settings, complete with chairs, dishes, that sort of thing. There's also a china cabinet at the far end of the room that's full of very fancy, expensive-looking dishes. And then, of course, you can see a doorway that leads into the kitchen. And then for Julie and Candy in the library, the way the family sort of set this up, it's more of like a sort of like a family room a little bit. There is a family room, but this is like a sitting room. That's what I'm looking for. So there's a fireplace there. There's a nice TV mounted right above it, and the walls are just lined with lots of books. Most of them look brand new. It doesn't look like the family that lives here are big readers, really. They just have a lot of books. And that's kind of what you see. And of course, there's a door leading out of there into a small hallway, and you can just make out a bathroom through the door. Now, having entered the room, or entered the home, rather, I need everyone to make a sight check. Arnik with a 21, Julie 17, Candy 9, and Jason 11. All right, so Candy and Jason, you don't really notice anything weird. You look around and you're kind of focusing on the architecture, the color choices, probably wondering why is it so cold, that sort of thing. Julie, as you walk into the library, just as you are passing the sort of archway, just for a split second, you could have swore you saw movement at the top of the stairs, just out of the very corner of your eye. But when you glance back, there's nothing there. And then Arnik, as you're walking into the dining room, maybe you want to double check to make sure your fellow ghost hunters are okay. Maybe Jason made a noise or something, but something compels you to look over your shoulder. And as you do, at the very top of the stairs, you notice what looks like a dark hooded figure, just a silhouette, just like the very edge of their head, sort of duck behind the wall. And as such, I need a discipline roll from you.
Sweet. Starting strong.
For clarification, are we a private group or is there a boss that we all work with?
Wow, this is fantastic.
I mean, probably a private group. Yeah, probably private group. Your boss in this case would be the family that hired you. So 12. All right, so the 12. That's gonna be 2 fear points.
Okay.
As when you see this figure duck behind the wall, sort of just super fast duck back behind the corner, you get that sensation of that you get kind of like on a roller coaster or something like that, where your stomach just sort of sinks, and it's very disturbing. All right, and from here, since you're all spread out a little bit, I'm gonna kind of start going by the overlay order here. So, Jason. Well, first of all, Arnik, do you say anything about that? Do you radio your friends and let them know what you saw?
Um, yes, and I would change my directory to place a motion sensor at the top of the stairs.
Okay. All right. Then yeah, we'll go to Jason then. You've just heard Arnik mention they saw something at the top of the stairs and start heading back your way. If you look at the top of the stairs, there's nothing there now. But what do you do?
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up the stairs as well. And right on the landing between the 2 flights of stairs, I'm going to stick a sound sensor on the wall.
Okay.
And I'm definitely going to pull out my mag light and have a glow stick in the other hand ready to crack.
Okay. I'm going to make sound sensors will be gray. So you said you put a sound sensor at the top of the stairs?
Right on this landing, kind of in between the levels, like where the stairs turn, right on that spot.
Okay. I'm just going to put a little square here. To notify that. And then what did you put in the dining room, Arnik?
Oh, so I was going to, once I made it upstairs, put a motion sensor at the top of the stairs.
Oh, okay, motion sensor. All right, we'll make that one. Make that one pink. All right, so at the very top of the stairs, we're gonna put a motion sensor. Where is my text writing tool? There it is. All right, so this is a sound. So easy, this is easy to read. And then this one is a motion. All right. Okay, and then back on the bottom floor, Candy, what are you doing?
They're focused primarily on Julia. They're just noticed out of their night vision camera that reacts. What would be bringing your sight, Julia?
Sorry, I was actually, I think it was a little muffled by the mask there on that one. What was that?
What would you see, Julia?
And Julie, Candy asks you that, and you've heard from Arnik what's going on the radio. What do you do?
So initially, Julie moving into this room would have like just barely seen something move out of the corner of her eye. So that makes her stop relatively close to that door, the doorway into that little library kind of section. Once she hears confirmation from Arnik and sees both Arnik and Jason start to move in that direction, she's going to come out of that room as well. And I think she's probably going to take out, I would say maybe an EMF reader and join them up on the stairs and see if she can get any readings.
Okay. So we're all at the top of the stairs. Candy, I assume you're following Julie? All right. Let me get another sight roll from everyone. Oh, poor Arnik. All right, 17 and 12. So Julie. Oh, perfect. Candy is one that very much needs a high roll for this. So Candy, we'll start with you. As you're moving your night vision camera around, and taking a look at everything, you notice there are some glowing orbs that seem to just be sort of drifting down the hallway, sort of this balcony that overlooks the back of the house. And it's sort of traveling back and forth between the left-hand side where bedroom 2 is and the right-hand side where the other 2 bedrooms are. Just very slowly sort of floating back and forth. And then Julie, you notice... what tool did you have out again?
My EMF reader.
Okay. You do notice that your EMF reader is starting to flicker a bit. On the little gauge, it's jumping up to like a 2 or a 3. It never seems to like stay there. It's just barely flickering back and forth. But you definitely are getting some activity, and so I will need, since you both have witnessed something, I need Julie and Candy to roll discipline rolls, whereas Arnik and Jason, you are not noticing this.
All right. So I forgot to ask you previously, because without it, it's that 17. Should I add my psychic medium and parapsychology bonuses on the skill chart itself, because these are specifically for sight and hearing in a situation like this? Because it's for noticing like ghosts, right? Because I already forgot about it.
Not like to the bonuses, because it wouldn't apply for this one, because it's specifically to notice your EMF reader.
Okay.
Not to like see a manifestation of the ghost or evidence of the ghost.
Okay, makes sense.
And by evidence, I mean like them moving something or something like that.
Yeah. Would I add discipline, my parapsychology discipline, to this one though? Because it's
yeah.
In reaction to something that I've experienced?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, cool. So that's the base one. So 22 plus 2, so 24.
Okay. You are fine. Like you witness this, and you start moving your EMF reader around, and you do get little spikes here and there, especially if you start walking back and forth on the balcony. You'll see little spikes here and there, but you're feeling pretty calm about it. You've done this before. You've witnessed paranormal things before. You're not really worried about it at this point. And then Candy, you got a 9 on your discipline, was that right? This ghost orb that you're seeing float back and forth on the balcony is really kind of freaking you out. You just get this very sort of chilled to the bone sensation as you watch this drift back and forth. Particularly disturbed that you can see it on your camera, but when you look down or look up from the screen, you can't see it with your eyes. And that is going to deal 2 fear damage to you as well. So Arnik and Jason, your 2 companions seem to be a little on edge. Well, at least Candy does. Julie seems more fascinated by whatever's going on. But Candy's having a rough time. How did the two of you react to this?
What are y'all seeing? We got it. We gotta communicate. That's the only way, or else these guys will get us.
Yes, they kept us. And thus, we have an interesting scene. As these gold orbs of light, they terrify, bring the senses of fear to my soul.
So what'd you say?
These orbs,
I also missed a lot of that.
Orbs. Okay, so floaty things.
yes, green orbs.
Hate that. Arnik, you see anything?
Arnik's going to pull out his UV flashlight and kind of direct it towards the banister around the area where he saw the shadowy figure.
Okay. Double check something. Yeah, as you look around with your UV flashlight, it just makes everything look a little creepier because it's a black light. You might notice some spots here and there, but it looks like normal, like somebody spilled their drink on the carpet or something like that type of thing. There's no fingerprints or ghostly images that you see with it.
No, just looks like somebody didn't make it to the bathroom or the bedroom right here.
Gross. Julie, what you got? What do you got? You seem like you're you're a little like, whoa. What you got?
That kind of gets a little chuckle from Julie. She holds up her EMF reader and kind of like waves it at you a little bit. She says, I'm getting some readings on this. So nothing too big, but it's something. So there's that.
Off of me?
No, up here on the balcony.
Okay, cool.
dead person.
Oh, Antonio, turn on
Oh.
the infrared.
Who?
Who?
The drone.
Oh, the drone. Okay. All right. So you've got your drone that you've got flying around the room now, and you want it to turn on an infrared sensor, yeah?
Yes.
All right. And then, quick question. I probably should have asked this before we started. Your sound sensor, motion sensor, infrared, all those things. How would you all have those linked up? Would you have like a trailer outside where you would go to monitor those things? Do they make noises when they go off? What do you envision those sensors looking like in terms of how you would read them?
I think, they all get sent back to the van or whatever to make sure that we have it on tape so we can sell it. But, I would personally imagine for Candy, has these shades, has kind of almost like a Google Glass of, one corner has, the drone. So, whatever it's picking up.
Okay, so you've got some sort of augmented reality type setup so you can see what the drone's seeing at the same time. All right. And then for the sound and motion sensor, Arnik and Jason, what do those look like?
I feel like the sound sensor is probably just like a strobe. Like if it goes off, it just flashes.
Okay.
And if there's anyone in the van, they'll be able to notice it too. But for our benefit, it probably just strobes.
Gotcha. And any one of you can go back to the band to check some of this stuff out as well. That is an option at pretty much any point. Unless the ghost is physically preventing you from leaving by holding the door closed or something like that. You can leave at any point and come back. So Arnik, what does the motion sensor look like?
So I have motion sensors. I have 3 of them. They each have a number, and they have like a digital representation in the van. However, if something walks past it, it will give a little beep
Okay.
that's specific sound to that tool.
Gotcha. So like they have 3 different pitches that they'll do for each one?
So they all have the same pitch.
Okay.
They're just 3 separate ones. So then I just have to keep track of, okay, number 1 I put on top of the stairs. So if one is going off in the van, that's the location it's at.
Okay, I see. All right. With that information, I can tell you, Candy, on your drone, your infrared sensor is showing something is there in the hallway. Currently, it's on the left-hand side by bedroom number 2, in between bedroom number 2 and bath number 2 on this little layout that we've got. It's showing that something is there. Muted.
They lead towards the bathroom's pool.
Julie will go in to bedroom 2 then.
Okay.
She doesn't wait for any of you guys. She just goes.
And Candy
Brave.
follows.
All right.
Like, Just offhand, any information Candy gets, she's immediately telling so that others can react and deal with it. Candy's just there to capture.
I'm gonna pull your token down here into bedroom 2 as well. All right.
I'm probably going to keep forgetting to do that. I apologize in advance.
Oh, you're good. We'll get back to the 2 of you in a moment. As the 2 of you enter the room, Arnik and Jason. Jason, you notice the sound sensor flashes at that section in the stairs, and you just let me get a hearing check from you. Arnik, you can roll this as well if you want. So an 11.
I guess I got my one good roll out of the way early on.
And another 11. All right. Then I'm not going to give you the full thing that this entity says. But you definitely do hear a child's voice say something. You're not quite sure, but the voice sounds alarmed. It sounds almost like a warning, but you can't tell what it's warning you about.
We have radios, right?
You do.
I'm going to pull out my radio and just be like, hey, Julie, could you bring your EMF sensor, just toss it back out here real fast?
With that, let's actually hop back to Julie and Candy, and you'll hear that on the radio shortly after what I'm about to describe happens.
Okay. That doesn't sound alarming.
It's fine. It's fine.
Brandon, please don't
believe
kill
you.
Julie in the first session. Please let her live through one session.
Do not worry.
You're at full hit points.
passion.
You're at full hit points and no fear yet, so you'll be fine. Just as you walk in the door, it immediately feels freezing. Like you can see your breath as soon as you step into that bedroom. And let me get a hearing check from you as well. An 11. So you hear something right behind you. It sounds metal, but you're not quite sure what the sound was. But possibly more alarming is just this sort of right in your ear. And I will need
Julie
to split roll
immediately
for that.
yelps Yeah, Julie immediately yelps and lurches a couple of steps forward away from the stone, just instinctually. Discipline, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that, and my +2 for parapsychology would be 26 if that applies.
Incredible. You do manage to keep your wits about you quite well. It's alarming, it startles you, but you manage to shake most of it off. But you still take one fear. And that, in and of itself, seems a little odd to Julie, because it's like something that you could normally shake off that you don't quite.
Okay. Just as a quick follow-up, it was Candy that saw the orbs, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And they told the rest of the group that they saw the orbs? Yes. When you say it's cold in the room, freezing temperatures, will I have to take out my thermometer to check what it is, or can I discern that it is perhaps freezing?
You're able to see your breath, so you're pretty sure it's freezing cold inside the room.
Okay.
You can get an exact temperature if you want, but like visual inspection, you can tell it's definitely pretty darn cold.
Alrighty. So Julie's wheels are turning a little bit. She feels like she might have a little bit of insight as to what kind of entity this might be, but she'll stew on it for a little while longer, see if she can't find anything to confirm.
Okay. And right about that moment's when you hear on the radio, "Hey, can you bring your EMF reader out here?"
Yeah, she would radio back that she is coming right along. You probably notice that her voice is a little bit shaky, but she motions to Candy, and I'm gonna pop out there if you're coming, and she would move out to where they are.
Okay.
And Candy has been following, with her eye more on the night vision camcorder, while the drone is doing the infrared recording.
Okay. The infrared's definitely showing you that that there's something in the bedroom. As you leave the bedroom, the infrared sensor sort of stops registering that there's anything there, and the orb is no longer on the balcony as well. So Julie, as you go out onto the balcony, you are able to either use or hand off your EMF reader.
Do either Jason or Arnick reach for it? Do they want to take it from her?
If you're out here, Jason's just gonna be like, there's something talking on the stairs.
Julie looks, a little bit wary, a little bit cautious after just having something breathe directly into her ear. So she moves slowly, but she does bring the EMF down there to see if anything spikes.
Okay. And you're looking kind of around where the sound sensor is, that on the stairs?
Yeah, if that's where Jason kind of indicated.
Yeah. You get a strong EMF reading on there. It's steady at a 3, and it keeps bumping up to a 4 on your gauge.
She turns back to Jason and says, "Steady 3, kind of hovering around there. Why did you get anything out here while we were in the other room?"
Jason just nods sagely as though he fully understands what those numbers mean, and just goes "So, Arnick, it sounded like it was a warning, right? Little kid, kind of panicky."
Yes, I think that sounded scared. I think that's what fear sounds like.
Yeah.
Matt, would
Yeah.
Jason have told us the rest of the information that he had?
Oh yeah, I would absolutely have briefed everybody
Okay.
in the run up.
In that case, then Julie probably offers, and there's something kind of it's not weird or anything like that, but it's kind of off. Typically, in this situation, someone might be a little cautious or like fearful of having a warning said. Julie just seems very at ease when she says, "Oh yeah, like didn't you tell us that?" What was it? The family had two
The
kids, right?
Brewers, yeah.
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 I mean, it could be tied to them, I suppose.
I would hope. I was really hoping we wouldn't have to deal with spooky kids.
Well, I mean, think of it this way. If they were trying to warn you, then they were trying to help, right? So these aren't necessarily kids that want to do you harm. They're trying to give you assistance. So they're not spooky. They're just trying to help.
Tragic victim of this poor, unfortunate event. Should I have Antonio go on to that parabolic microphone?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Antonio!
Where are you sending your drone, Antonio, with this parabolic microphone?
Quite literally to where they pointed.
On the stairs, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah, as you're listening to this parabolic microphone, it's very, very quiet, and just a tiny little bit of static. And then after a few moments of patiently listening, you just hear very quietly in a little child's voice going, "He's a bad man."
Yes,
Good.
sorry, bad. This is why we try to help.
Shortly after that, there is a loud bang, as if someone has slammed a door very violently in the bedroom that Candy and Julie, you were in, and the doorbell rings at roughly the same time.
I'll get the door.
Julie lets out this like nervous laugh, but doesn't say anything.
Okay. And then I also will need discipline rolls from everyone as multiple paranormal events are happening around you.
Now, Julia, do you think that the badness came from the room we just left?
I think that's probably a good assumption, seeing as don't mean to alarm any of you, but I was standing up in that bedroom and I heard like a breath right in my ear. It was something. So yeah, I that's probably a good assumption.
Cool.
Arnik is just quietly just like taking the motion sensor off of the stair at the top of the stairs and like just not really giving off any signals, but just starts walking towards bedroom 2 to do a new setup.
Okay. So on that roll, Arnik and Julie, you are pretty much fine. Candy, you take 2 fear, and Jason, you take 1. And so we're moving. Where is my paintbrush tool? Here it is. So we're moving the motion sensor. Why are you not doing the thing?
So Arnik's goal is to put 1 in the opening by the door of the bedroom, then 1 by the door of the bathroom.
Okay.
And then 1 right inside of the wardrobe. I don't know if something happens in between that, but that's his goal.
Okay. So, sorry, say that one more time. So 1 by the wardrobe?
1 by the wardrobe, 1 in the bathroom, and 1 at the beginning of the bedroom. So like how all those rooms are connected, kind of.
Okay.
So
And
the
these are
wardrobe,
motion
like
sensors.
the closet over here, the walk-in.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You said we got a hit on the infrared
I
sensor,
see.
right?
Yes, the infrared sensor was showing some stuff.
Okay.
Okay. And all right, so you've got the 3 motion sensors in the room, and it's very cold in there. Still freezing temperatures. So far, nothing is happening on the motion sensors at all. And then, as you enter the room, and you're setting these up, let me get a hearing check for Arnik. Okay. Arnik is oblivious. What's your fear at right now?
2.
2?
Poor Arnik is getting the shitty end of the stick today.
It's actually beneficial, because Arnik is unaware of what's happening behind them right now.
Sweet.
I mean, that's beneficial right up until it isn't.
Right now it's beneficial. When Arnik has more fear, it will be very unbeneficial. All right, and then you're in there alone, right? Nobody else went in with Arnik?
Don't think so. I was going down to the door.
Okay. Then Arnik, after you get everything set up and you leave that bathroom, the bathroom door starts to open and shut on its own. Not violently, but just sort of swinging back and forth. And we'll pause there with Arnik with that and go over to Jason heading to the front door. As you open up the front door, do you step out onto the porch or do you wait inside?
For sure gonna wait inside.
Okay. Then as you open the door and just sort of stand there, you don't see anything. There's nothing there.
Is Candy still just at the top of the stairs?
Yeah, they're focusing mostly on Julia as they've been the expert so far.
So Jason's just kind of turn and look back up and just, hey, Candy, could you point Antonio at the door, please?
See? And
As you do, there's nothing there.
Good.
Yeah. Nothing on the infrared, I don't believe.
Great. Love it. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, and keep that passion. That beautiful, beautiful passion you have there.
Okay.
I will.
Do you shut the door?
No. Jason's just gonna kind of like look around and feel like, all right, and like just holds up the radio and just feels like, call me if you need. I'm going to go man the truck for a minute. Throw cameras, throw sensors. If y'all need them, he takes his 2 sound sensors and just sets them on like a in table or something right next to the door.
There's like a table with like a bowl for keys and stuff like that right by the front door. All right, then as you exit the home, you are able to see out of the corner of your eye a ghostly blue sort of figure. It looks like a child's head that's poking around the corner of the house, suddenly dart back.
Have I shut the door?
No.
Hey, got a ghost outside, one of the kids. I'm gonna go follow it. So, if I scream, it's probably fine.
Okay. So you go around the house to follow this image.
This
Um,
seems safe and fine.
As soon as you turn the corner, you don't see anything. There's nothing there, but you do hear a little child giggling noise. It sounds like a little girl and a little boy giggling as they're playing with something.
I don't see them.
There's
Nothing to
don't
see.
see anything. You just hear it.
Okay, I'm going to take my UV glow stick, crack it, shake it, and just kind of hold it out and just be like, I've got a real cool toy. It glows.
The giggling suddenly stops. And how do you hold it out for a little bit?
Oh yeah, I'll hold it out for a good minute and just kind of
Okay.
not moving.
After about 20-25 seconds, like the giggling stops immediately as you address them. But after about 20 to 25 seconds, you feel a small tug on the glow stick.
I will release it and just be like, we appreciated the warning. The nice lady, Julie, she can probably hear you better than the rest of us. So if you need to warn us again, talk to her.
The UV stick just sort of drops onto the ground when you let go of it, and then starts spinning slowly in a circle on the ground. And you just very quietly hear, "He's a bad man. Should leave." In a little girl's voice.
Cool. Cool.
We'll pause Jason there and hop back inside. Julie, what are you up to right now?
So Julia is going to follow Arnik into that other room, I think.
Okay. Good call. It is, again, still very, very cold inside the room, and you are able to see that door swinging back and forth. And as you come in, I will need a discipline check and a hearing check.
All right. So discipline is this one. So a +2 would be 29.
Okay.
And hearing 13, but if I'm specifically using psychic medium to perceive an entity, then that would be a 15.
Perfect. Okay. So again, you see this paranormal activity happening, and you take one more fear, and it again strikes you like you shouldn't be having this much trouble shaking this feeling off, and you get the sense that like there's something up about this. And then with your hearing, from the bathroom, you hear that metal sound again, but you hear it more clearly this time, and it sounds like a saber being drawn from a sheath.
Julie is going to approach that little area, kind of like this section here where the wardrobe is. She's not going to get too close, not going to enter the door or anything like that. But she wants to use her EMF reader, see if she can get another spike.
Yeah, it jumps up to a 5 on your little EMF as you're putting it towards the door.
So as soon as that hits a 5, Julie just makes this little aha noise, and then looks to the other people in the room. Whoop. Everybody in the room just making noise with each other. No, Julie looks to you, Arnik, and she says, "I'm pretty sure I know what this is."
Yes.
Your hesitation kind of makes her chuckle a little bit. And she offers you like a smile, just like a very small smile. And she says, Based on all of the things that we've hit so far, there have been orbs in Candy's camera. I just hit a 5 on the EMF, which is as high as it goes. So that's fantastic. It's super, super cold in here. We also had that hit on the infrared sensor that Candy had, so that's cool. And even though I kind of feel like I should know what's happening here, it's still kind of getting to me a little bit, which tells me that this thing is pretty extraordinary. It's pretty high energy. I think we're dealing with a phantom. I think this is a phantom.
I'll put down one of those microphones I grabbed from the candy dish on here. We can get the perfect audio for that.
Okay, you putting a sound sensor into the bedroom?
Yeah.
So does that mean our job's done?
Means half the job's done.
Yeah, not entirely. It seems pretty aggressive, and especially with the thought of there being a warning from these children, we probably want to deal with it in a way that allows the family to return to their home and feel like they're safe, like they can exist in this space without fearing. So in that case, we probably want to try and do something to either discourage it or remove it completely so that they're able to do that. I don't think I'd feel too good just leaving and having them left here to deal with it by themselves, especially since they don't really know what's happening.
As you say, remove it. All of the doors, the cabinet doors, wardrobe door, the bathroom door, the bedroom door, all of them start opening and closing violently, and the windows start shaking.
Beautiful, beautiful! Phantom, you are doing beautiful work here.
And with that, everyone in that bedroom, I need a discipline roll from.
Oh boy. All right.
Oh no!
With parapsychology, that would be a 28.
Okay, so you take 1 fear from everything that's going on. And then how about Arnik? Was that 23 for this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you also take 1 fear. And then Candy, with a nat 1, you take 4 fear.
Oof.
And with that, that puts you at 8 total, right?
Hey,
With that, let me get a hearing check from Candy to see if you have time to do something.
I'm going to just put the odds on it's probably not going to happen, but let's find out. I got money on no. Let's see.
17. You do hear something, but not in time to get out of the way. With this ghost seeming very angry, obviously, and now you being very shaken up, you hear heavy footsteps, almost like somebody's wearing like heavy boots, like combat boots almost. You hear these footsteps behind you, and then you feel, it almost feels like someone's taken a rope and wrapped it around your neck and is trying to choke you with it. Not enough to actually like keep you from breathing, but it feels extremely uncomfortable, and it does do 4 damage.
Well, this is really awkward. Like, I can understand you having a love for the craft of the art, but this was a little too tight.
It only lasts for about 10 seconds, and then it stops, and all the activity in the room ceases.
During that 10 seconds, did anything like appear? Were there any shadows?
If you would like, you can roll magic engineering to see if you can kind of see the ghost, even though they're not fully manifesting yet.
Okay, that's a 22.
Yeah, if you kind of squint, you see a faint outline of what looks like the type of rope you would see in like an old movie where they're hanging someone, wrapped around Candy's neck, and then just a faint like shadow behind them.
Could that be captured with a digital camera if I am quick enough?
You can certainly try. You've got about 10 seconds, so you've got a little bit of time. Let's do a nimbleness roll. Let's see how quick you are. An 18? Yeah. You nearly drop the camera as you're trying to pull it out, but you are able to get a snapshot, and it does capture that shadowy figure behind Candy. And it looks like sort of a large figure with broad shoulders, a little bit taller than Candy, and definitely fits the profile of the ghost that you're looking for.
Whoop!
So all of that happens. Do you communicate with Jason, who's outside?
Yes. Julie's gonna take out her radio and radio for Jason.
Yes.
We've got a lot of stuff happening all at once up here. If you want to come back and help. She sounds like she's not sure about what degree you're possibly able to help, but that's the word she chooses.
Is the glow stick still spinning?
It's stopped spinning now, and it's more like just occasionally it'll get nudged a little bit, but it's much more sporadic than it was before.
Well, I'm pretty sure the two Brewer children are out here playing with one of my glow sticks, and they seem really opposed to whatever's inside the house. So why don't y'all come out here and we game plan this thing? We have a van. I have whiskey in it.
I
I'm
don't
18.
think that there's that. I also don't think that whiskey is the appropriate method for communicating. She almost said removing, but then quickly thought better of it, for communicating with this entity. But yeah, you're probably right. We should regroup for a minute. We'll catch you in the van.
As you say, whiskey's not the best way to communicate with this entity. The sound sensor starts flashing, like almost in a pattern. The one that's in the bedroom that Candy put up there.
Julie's gonna radio back to Jason and be like, you know what? Hold what I just said. I'll get right back to you. And she takes out her spirit box.
Ooh, okay.
I have an idea, like, again, this, because again, I've just put forth the idea, you never told me if this was more that for them to kind of like put a camera on the tripod and then use their hands to try to just do kind of like a ritual with their hands. Like,
Yeah, you can
in the
absolutely
air.
do that. What do you want the ritual to accomplish?
The idea is to possibly make this entity that's in us to be visual or able to communicate with us. And,
Okay. Yeah. You essentially trying to make the ghost manifest so you can see them. You absolutely can try to do that. That's magic engineering. And then Julie, with your spirit box, you turn it on and it's doing the static. It's cycling through all the different frequencies, and you're pretty much ready to go to try to get it to talk to you.
Would it just be engineering magic with the two for the training?
Yes.
Okay. So that'd be a 19 total.
19. it doesn't quite work on this ghost, but as you do this, anyone who happens to be looking out the bedroom door might see a male ghostly figure with what looks like a sword through them, shuffling down the hallway for just a moment.
That is such a great mental image. I love that. It's spooky. Julie's not looking out there, so.
Okay. And that won't trigger any fear or anything like that. That's just sort of extra. So yeah, you are successful, but it doesn't work on the ghost that you had intended to manifest. But it looks like that was probably one of the dads that Hank murdered. But Julie, you've got the spirit box going. What do you want to say to Hank here?
So she, she knows that this is probably Hank, but it's always best to have confirmation if possible. So the first thing she'd ask is this Hank? Are we speaking with Hank?
And the spirit box, cycles through frequencies and stuff, and then it gives you that, sort of, how to describe it, almost sterile sounding voice, as it translates the static and frequency, and you just hear yes.
Okay, cool. What else would she ask immediately? If you guys have any ideas or things that you would like to know, then certainly let me know as well.
Is there anything we could do to make things easier to deal with? Like, we can make things to make communication that much easier. Is there anything we could provide? And trying to do this as charmingly as possible.
There's some like garbled static noise that comes up after that, and then quickly followed by a run.
And that's what Candy does.
Okay. Where does Candy run to?
I think what would be funniest is because I think there's a window, right?
There is. You are on the second floor, though.
I know, but I'm going for what's funnier. Because is it funnier to go down the stairs or go out the window? Out the window, and probably have to make a nimbleness roll to see if I get
go
hurt.
Out the window if you die.
You can't die. I've fallen off from the second floor many a time. You get sore, but you don't die.
Okay. Yeah, let's do a nimbleness roll to see how well you're able to sort of tuck and roll as you hit the ground. I'm just gonna say that the window's open.
Yeah, I don't think 4 is good enough. That's gonna really hurt me.
Yeah, how many hit points do you have again?
11. But
Oh, no.
on the example I'm going off from real life is when went out my dad's window and hit the ground. It was the shoulder that popped out when I hit ground, and it really hurt. But it was easy enough just to pop back in.
Yeah, you take 7 damage from falling out the window. And you are not, to put it a certain way, your plan to go out the window, it did not go well.
My HP is same as my roll, 4.
So Julie watches this happen. And as soon as Candy's out the window, she like looks down to her spirit box and then back to the window and then looks to, empty space in the room where she might assume that Hank would be. And she's just like, oh my God. Okay. That's one way to do it. She looks back to her spirit box and she says, Unfortunately, Hank, I'm not going to run just yet. I still have some questions for you.
Okay.
She then asks, "Are you stuck here?"
That's an interesting question. Probably much like me thinking about this, it probably is a long pause, and then a no.
Are you here willingly?
Yes.
Do you like the family that lives here?
There's a pause. And then it's a little hard to understand, but you're pretty sure it says loud.
What was the family that lived here has children too, right?
They do.
Is that what you said? Yeah. Is it the children that are too loud?
There's a pause, and then yes.
Okay. What do you want, Hank?
There's static, so you only hear the second half of it, but it sounds like ski.
Ski.
I figured it out.
Is it whiskey?
What did you say?
Does Hank want whiskey?
Yes.
Julie takes out her radio again and radios to Jason and says, "Jason, can you bring up that whiskey that you mentioned?"
Very begrudging, just like, yes.
Arnick will add in on the radio. Also, Candy just jumped out the window.
I'm sorry, what?
And I find it real funny if you just look probably to the area and see a Candy waving as they probably are in the ground a bit.
Jason walks out of the van with the bottle of whiskey and several glasses. Just like a stack of solo cups is what it is. Just over the top of it, and just looks at Candy and just goes, "Are you alive?"
Yes.
Cool. And he just puts a solo cup, pulls one off the stack, pulls the cork out, and just dunks some whiskey into a cup, walks over and sets it down next to Candy. Just goes "Don't jump out of windows."
Yeah, is first aid kit still in the van?
Probably. This is my first aid kit. And Jason's gonna just saunter in and leaves Candy a couple, a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, because I imagine they are very sore, taking themselves out of the mud, takes a drink, and then goes towards the van to hopefully use the med kit or first aid stuff to at least try a medical check to hopefully at least bandage some of their wounds, since their pride is completely gone.
Yeah. Okay. We'll leave you in the van for the moment. So Jason, I assume you go straight to bedroom 2 there with everybody else, yeah?
Oh yeah. I'll go right to where they called me.
Okay. Then yeah. You're in the bedroom and you've got the whiskey, and Julie's got the spirit box. What do you do with the whiskey?
Julie is gonna to motion to you, Jason, to the little bedside table next to the bed, and she says, "You want to pull that out and put a little cup of whiskey on top of it.
So yeah, I'll put the thing into the middle of the room and pull out from the stack. I'll pull out 4 glasses, one for each of us, and Hank, and then pour a shot into each one, and put the bottle in the middle of the table.
Okay.
And just kind of like toss the other solo cups on the bed. I'll get them in a minute.
A few moments after you do this, everyone in the room is able to witness the whiskey in all the cups, like the level, steadily goes down until there's nothing left in the cups. And then things start to get a little weird in the room. And that's where we're going to take a break. So when we come back, we'll find out what's up with the whiskey and what's happening in the room. And if Candy is able to patch themselves up from falling out of a window. So go hydrate, stretch your legs, grab snacks, look at something happy and fun for a little bit, and then be back in 15 minutes, because we'll be right back. right, we are back. So when we left off before break, Jason had brought the whiskey to the bedroom where the ghost was. Poured 4 solo cups of whiskey. Set the bottle on the table, and you all were able to witness the whiskey sort of just drain out of these cups as if into thin air. And then the rooms, I mentioned the room started to get kind of weird. What I need from everybody in the bedroom is a physical fortitude roll. Nice.
No.
No.
I knew that was gonna happen. Oh no.
Where is that on my sheet again?
It should be towards the bottom of the skill list.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, no.
Julie.
So Jason, you feel fine, which is oddly appropriate. It
Oh
has
boy.
it has very little effect on you. You feel maybe slightly more relaxed.
Good.
A little less freaked out.
Good.
Arnik, you are feeling extremely tipsy. Like a little bit dizzy, like the room's moving around a little bit. It's kind of hard to walk straight. You feel almost like you've had a lot to drink. And it's probably making you feel a little sick. Julie, you are drunk as a skunk.
You want to know what's even worse? You want to add insult to injury?
What?
One of my challenges is weak stomach.
Oh no!
Dum.
Wow.
So yeah, you're probably seeing double. The room's spinning. You can't walk in a straight line, and probably have an urgent need to go vomit.
Mm-hmm. I would say right off the bat, Julie, being that she sees double and can't walk a straight line, like very slowly, she tries to like get down on her hands and knees so that she can move towards where the bathroom is, but it's very, very slowly. It's almost like if you're facing an animal that you don't want to startle, like it's that kind of very slow lowering her body down. And she tries to crawl to the bathroom so she can go throw up.
Okay. Arnik, how about you? What do you do?
Did I drink that?
No. The ghost did.
My mom's gonna kill me.
You didn't drink it. I promise.
Arnik just like takes a photo of Jason.
Okay. We're doing great. Okay. All right. We're doing good, team. Candy, Candy's outside. Good. Okay. Phew. Candy's having their own whiskey experience outside.
Okay.
So Hank, is the spirit box still here and still going?
I feel like Julie probably would have dropped it.
Okay.
But is it still on?
I'll say yeah.
So Jason just kind of like goes and picks it up. It just goes, so you like that, huh?
There's no answer.
Jason just tosses it on the bed and just goes, cool. So tell you what, Hank. And he goes and he takes 2 of the cups off the table, stacks them, tosses them behind him, picks up the whiskey bottle and just goes, you and me, friend. I win, you leave. And you don't get to pass the buzz off on my friends. Knock, like, rattle your cup once for yes, rattle it twice, or throw it at my head for no.
Um, it rattles once, and the spirit box says, how did you put it? The part where you said you can't pass it off on my friends. Was that the second or third thing you said?
I think the second, it was you and me. If I win, you leave, and you cannot pass it off to my friends.
Okay.
So third thing, yeah.
Okay, so it rattles the cup once, and the spirit box says 3 no.
Well, fine then. Mr. Brewer gets to come take my buzz away from me.
There's no response.
Yeah, this is kind of a punt. So Jason's just kind of like, hey, Mr. Brewer, your kids are awesome. If you want to see this guy out of your house, come and make sure I don't get at all buzzed.
Interesting. Let's do engineering magic for that one.
Oh no. 16.
16. You're not sure if it had an effect or not.
This is Jason's life. Who cares? This is great fun. Let's go. Let's freaking go.
Okay. Arnik, are you staying in the room, or are you leaving? What are you doing?
Arnik, are there any chairs in this room?
Yeah, there's like probably like a big fluffy chair.
So this is Arnik's first experience being inebriated. So he's just gonna sit in the chair, but is trying very hard to show that nothing is affecting him.
Okay.
It's delightful. This is great.
Nick is a man after my own heart. That's the way I am. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfectly fine. What do you mean?
Sitting in the chair and sitting still helps a little bit.
Yes.
And then Julie, you managed to make it to the bathroom, so you can do what you need to do. As soon as you get fully inside the bathroom, though, the door slams shut and locks.
When she is able to, she like crawls over to the door, and you know when you like half-assed smack on something when you don't have the energy to do so. Yeah. She does that, and she calls out and she's like, Jason, you better not antagonize the ghost. Be nice.
I challenged him to a drinking contest for the right to be in the house. It's fine.
Well, maybe you should let him win. You don't want him to be angry at you.
The stakes were if I win, he leaves.
Well, just tell me how it goes then, I guess.
Okay, how you doing? You doing okay in there?
Yes. Thank you for asking. And then there's more sounds of vomiting.
I was going to say, followed by vomit noises, right?
Yeah.
Jason was about to say you're welcome. That just goes, oh.
Pausing there a second. Candy, how you doing in the van?
Before that, I kind of want to just, if you don't mind, one alteration of Antonio the drone is at least making sure the hair is kept out. Because I feel like it'd be really bad if like they just completely go bad in the bathroom without someone at least trying to help them out.
Unfortunately, Antonio is not in the bathroom.
I had to try.
Yeah. But yeah, you are able to patch yourself up and get back, we'll say 4 hit points from the first aid kit, and you can reduce your fear by 2 for spending some time in the van and listening to music there and not being inside. Excuse me. Is there anything else that you would like to do from the van?
Just to go through the visual data, because like they may not know how to do anything else, but they know how to kind of like analyze film, make it great shots, figure out where we can edit to get information. from that.
Yeah. And you left the tripod camera in the bedroom, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then as you're watching the video and stuff from that camera, you're also able to periodically see like an image of a ghostly image of Hank opposite of Jason, standing there with like a cup of whiskey in his hand. And he's dressed in like sort of like a military style uniform with a saber on his belt. Very tall and broad shoulders, and to quote a fun movie, a great big bushy beard. Yeah, he's just standing across from Jason. It just sort of flickers into existence on the camera for a split second every so often.
Can I at least argue an engineering tech roll to possibly gain some information going over the footage?
What information are you looking for?
Any additional information that can help them. I figured that's about all I could probably do from this spot.
Yeah, there's not really any new information to get. It's just more of the same stuff that you've been finding. Like the sound sensor keeps going off in the bedroom. The motion sensors are not. And probably see some like little glowing orbs float by the camera every so often while you're watching this as well. That's about all you can really get from what you're doing right now.
How's Antonio doing?
I pretty much just assumed the drone was following you, but you could probably send it back into the house if you wanted to through the window, or I think the front door is still open.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like your drone to be in the bedroom or somewhere else?
Possibly try to go towards the bathroom, since I know at least something bad might be happening that way.
Okay. Bath 2 on the layout. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah.
The one that had a locked door that we heard over the comms.
Yeah, it's still locked and shut, but the drone's sort of hanging out there. So let's hop back to Jason and Hank here. How do you approach this drinking contest that you've challenged a ghost to, and they've seemingly accepted?
Okay, so no, there's not really I was gonna say half of me wants to bullshit him, but that's just 100% of who Jason is. When in doubt, bullshit your way out. It works a treat. So what Jason's gonna do is Jason's gonna like, all right, Cleveland 89 rules. One, we drink on 3.
Okay.
You're gonna wait for some sort of acknowledgement.
There isn't any.
Cool. He's gonna pick it up and just go. He's gonna pick his cup and just go 1, 2, 3, and then slam the whole thing and try to flip the cup upside down. Just be like, done.
Okay. Could I get a nimbleness roll from you?
Yes, you may. I put points in this, which was good. 10.
Oh no.
Now, do I have advantages? Hold on.
What are your assets again?
Assets, intuitive and trained, and I have those both accounted for already.
Okay.
I am addicted to alcohol, so I know my way around a drinking contest.
It's true. But I don't think it'll help for this particular
No,
thing.
no, probably not.
It's not quite like airplane. You have a drinking problem that happens. The reason for the nimbleness check is on the count of 2, the bottom of your cup gets tipped. So basically, like instead of it going in your mouth, it sort of spills down the front of your shirt. And Candy, on the camera, you can actually see Hank reach out and just like smack the cup.
Over the comm, we'll say, well, that sounds like they're cheating by the looks of this record.
Jason just kind of like looks down at his like rumpled suit and just goes, I said Cleveland rules, not Philly rules, Hank.
What about Florida rules? Florida rules, you can drain out the shirt into your mouth and it still counts.
Yeah, but then I have to wrestle a gator as a forfeit. Wait, hold on. Hank, do you have a gator?
You're right. My bad.
No, if Hank's got a gator, I'll go. I'll fight a ghost gator.
As much as I'm enjoying this part of the conversation, something else happens. So you notice that the bottle, the whiskey in the bottle starts to go down. And I need another physical fortitude roll from everybody but Candy. This ghost is an asshole.
Oh,
Raven,
no!
Raven really said, you know what? I see you're trying to be comedic, but this is a horror game, so fuck you.
How does it look on camera when this happens?
It's pretty chill for the most part on the camera. You just see the whiskey level in the bottle going down. It's pretty much all you see. And you notice Hank is no longer flickering into existence on the camera anymore. Everybody except for Arnik. Arnik, you're pretty much at the level of feeling kind of funky that you're gonna get for the moment. So you don't get any worse, but you don't get any better. Julie, kind of the same. You're not really worse, but you're not really better. I don't know that you could get much worse without just
That's what I was
passing
gonna
out.
say. I feel like if Julie got any worse, we'd be wading into alcohol poisoning territory.
Yeah. And I should say it's important to note that while you are having the effects, you know, if someone were to do blood work on any of your characters, they would not find alcohol in your system.
It's so funny.
It is a
It's
paranormal
fucking ghost.
effect. Jason, you are pretty much where Arnik is now.
Good.
And then for... Oh, hey, I just realized the creepy music died. What happened?
Well, it's a wonderful track to just come on.
Yeah. The music
From inside the
foreshadows our own.
washroom. Oh, go ahead.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say from inside the washroom, Julie is like trying to pull herself up on the sink and turn on the tap so she can start drinking a little bit of water.
Oh, no.
Evens or odds, Vanessa?
Oh,
Evens.
goodness.
It's always evens.
Oh, I just rolled a 1. So as you turn the tap on to do this, it's dirty water coming out of that tap. It's just gross brown water.
Yeah, Julie sees this and she's like, she doesn't verbally say it out loud, but mentally she's like, well, fuck me, I guess. She sees this brown water and she's like, okay, perhaps not. Just like slumps back down on the floor, rests her head on like the toilet seat.
Okay. Let me get a discipline roll from you again.
Discipline for me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, you love to see it. Oh, a nat 20.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, you actually lose a fear point instead of gain fear.
When the alcohol makes you bold.
But you
Shout
do,
out to Julie. Good for her.
So the good news with that is that it prevents you from actually being like physically harmed here, because you're not quite scared enough for it to affect you. The bad news is Hank still shows up to say hi, and what light source do you have in that bathroom?
I have a lighter.
Perfect. Then by the light of your lighter, you see a very corpseified looking giant man with a saber and a great big bushy beard and military uniform looming over you, holding the saber in the air like he's gonna slash you with it.
All Julie does is like whimper a little bit, and she's like, Hank, that's not very nice of you. It's not very polite.
Can I hear that from out in the room?
Yeah.
Hank! Get back out here and fish game, or I'm calling the Detman.
I just pictured Julie like hugging the toilet bowl with her lighter, seeing this above her and just being like, that's not polite. Just like slurred.
Hank,
As
no. Hank, no, please.
as Jason says, or I'm calling the Detman, you see Hank slowly turn his head in a 360 before looking at the door.
That seems fine.
Yeah.
Julie
walks
picks
through
up
the door.
her oh my god, Julie picks up her radio and like fumbles for the button on the side, and she goes, that wasn't good words, Jason.
He got all us drunk and took all of my whiskey. I'm mad.
Jason and Arnik.
Oh, and I did not press the radio button for that. I'm just yelling in the general direction of the bathroom.
That's fine.
I think
you're all
Julie's-
in close proximity.
Julie's only response would just be like a slurred, that's not all you're gonna be.
I can take him. There's still half a bottle left.
So Jason, after you say that, there's a pause, and then you start hearing very slow, deliberate, heavy footsteps coming from the bathroom towards you. Just a
You see,
Over and over
I also I got a really good knowledge roll earlier. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my the lights in this house work, right? Like,
presumably, but the power is off. So if you do try a light switch, you will notice that it doesn't work. The circuit
never
breaker's
mind.
probably been tripped.
So I'm gonna just like grab one of my UV light sticks and my mag light, and I'm just gonna go and just like wait till I hear the boots get pretty close, and then just like snap the UV light, throw it towards the shape, and then just like start flashing the mag light right towards it. I
Okay.
don't know that that's bright enough to spook it off, but just be like, no, Hank, we had a deal.
Arnik will try and take a couple of photos if Hank appears.
Okay. Does your camera have a flash setting on it, and is it on?
I'm not sure.
Most digital cameras will have a flash, so I think it's really more a question of, in Arnik's current state, does he think to turn it on?
I think it would
I
have
will leave
been
that up to you.
on from when he took a photo of Carla and Hank.
Okay, then we'll say yes. So, Jason, when you do the UV light and the flashlight, the footsteps stop for a moment. And Candy, you're able to see all of this happening with like every other step. There's a flash of Hank walking. on the monitor. And the UV light and the flashlight causes them to pause, not really retreat, but pause. But then Arnik takes a couple pictures and there's a bright flash. And Candy, you're able to see on the monitors that Hank doesn't seem to be there anymore.
Over the radio, it will say, "He's no longer there."
Uh-oh.
I have a dumb idea. I'll try to save you.
Okay.
I feel like Julie would find the button on the side of her radio to communicate.
Uh-huh.
And she just goes, "Well, of course you can't see him there. He's a ghost. What do you expect?"
All right. I had a thought and then just left the brain completely. Oh, the door is unlocked now for the bathroom.
All right. Yeah, I think Julie would check it and do her best to make it out in one piece.
Okay. Yeah, you're fine. And gradually the effect of feeling sort of drunk sort of fades from this bedroom.
Sorry, can you repeat what you just said? Because my Zoom froze.
The effect of like that drunk sort of feeling from being in this room starts to gradually fade now.
Oh, good. There's just like a flushing sound from inside the bathroom before Julie comes out. And she looks really embarrassed and like disheveled and stuff.
May I try my dumb idea now, or should I wait more?
I'm totally fine if you want to try it.
Okay. So I imagine there's at least a couple of like salt packets from when you're given the disposable silverware. Grabs a couple of those, like opens it, pours it into a glove, just has it into a fist before getting out of the van and running towards the house.
Okay. You've got some salt in your hand and you run towards the house. Where do you go once you run through the assuming the front door?
Once from the front door opens, is going, "Hank, you've got some explainings to do."
Okay. There's not really a direct response, but you do hear what sounds like a drawer being slammed shut in the kitchen.
Fine. You want to fight in the kitchen? We can fight in the kitchen. And
Okay.
then begins walking that direction.
All right. Everyone upstairs. You can hear Candy from downstairs yelling, and you hear the drawer slam sound sort of travels through the house. Do any of you go that direction, or radio Candy?
Jason's still like shaking off the booze effect, but he has remembered that he has a ward with him because he's an idiot, I guess, today. So he's gonna just like grab the bottle and be like, kitchen, okay. And he's gonna go down to like the main entryway and is going, or to the the family room, and is going to try to set up the ward space while Candy's doing whatever as like a backup plan. And he's going to use the whiskey bottle as a lure in the middle of it.
Okay, so you kind of trying to set up like a box with a stick sort of trap.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. And where are you setting this up?
In the family room.
In the family room.
So,
okay.
Just
So
to
just
the
off
left
the kitchen.
of the, yeah. So while Candy's in there throwing hands with the ghost, I'll be in here setting up.
Okay. All right, then we'll hop back over to well, before I do, Arnik and Julie, anything from y'all?
Arnik's gonna want to try at the spirit box.
Okay.
Like, is it still cold in this room?
It's gradually starting to warm up.
Okay. Um, since it's starting to warm up, means Ghost probably isn't in there. But Arnik wants to know, like, since there's like four other ghosts running around,
Yeah.
wants to make sure they're actually with Hank. So Arnik's just gonna ask, what room are you in?
There's not really any answer on the spirit box. There doesn't seem to be any ghosts in the bedroom right now.
Okay.
And Julie?
Julie's gonna motion to Arnik and be like, you'll probably have a little more success with that if we follow the others. So she like holds out her hand and makes a little motion for Arnik to follow in.
So Arnik will follow Julie downstairs to meet up with the others to try using the spirit box down there.
Okay.
As she goes, Julie is trying to like very inconspicuously like fix her clothing and her hair and tidy herself up a little bit. She's feeling a little embarrassed that she was hit the hardest out of everybody.
Awesome. All right. Then Arnik, which room downstairs do you try the spirit box in?
The kitchen.
The kitchen. All right. So in the kitchen, we've got Candy and Arnik, and the kitchen cabinets are being opened sort of slowly, one by one. And once it's fully opened, after a couple of seconds, it slams shut. And it's just sort of methodically going through each cabinet. And what do you say in the spirit box?
Who's there?
There's some static that comes from it. And it doesn't really give you a name. But it does say adult.
All right. Is your name Hank?
Yes.
Do you want money?
No.
What do you want?
It's the same as what happened up in the bedroom. There's like a static and then skeet on the end of it.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
So use a coward and not someone respectable that pays their debt.
Oh no.
Candy. After you say that,
I have a plan. It's roughly the whole idea is that roughly like right after they're waiting, kind of like 1, 2, just kind of like when they think kind of like it is just utterly screwed. It's just gonna chunk the salt and try to just like try to move kind of like just
Well, before you throw the salt, um, let me explain what the ghost is doing. So there's some like a knife block in the kitchen, and one of the kitchen knives, like a steak knife, sort of rattles in the block and then gets launched towards you. Could I get a nimbleness roll to have you dodge out of the way? And it's not a particularly difficult dodge here. 17. Okay. So you're able to like move your foot out of the way right as the knife sort of sticks into the wooden floor right where your foot just was. With that, do you still throw the salt?
Yeah, like this was the whole
Okay.
point, was to enrage it so I would know where it's coming from, so I could throw the salt exactly where the blade came from, and
Okay.
hit the salt and try to do so with the hands.
Then I
This
need
is about all I got to help.
No, that's a good idea. Let's try an engineering magic roll then.
Okay. I don't think 11's gonna do it.
No, I'm gonna say there just wasn't enough salt to really accomplish what you were going for. And so nothing really happens, but it also doesn't throw more things at you. It just goes back to opening each cabinet, holding it open for a couple seconds and then slamming it shut. Probably goes on to the refrigerator as well. Could I get a sight roll from anyone that's in the kitchen, assuming somebody has a flashlight in there?
Yeah, I have a flashlight.
Okay. 13, 10. And for Candy?
7.
7? Okay. Arnik, I'm going to say that you do notice this. Nobody else really does. But all the cabinets that are opened and the refrigerator, because the whole whiskey thing that happened might be on your mind, you notice that doesn't seem to be alcohol in this kitchen. You haven't noticed any alcohol in the house at all, actually.
Does this family have alcohol in the house?
Is that for the spirit box?
Yeah.
There's a no on the spirit box, followed by die, die, die.
Arnik is going to pass the spirit box to Julie, and after watching Candy's throw what Arnik thinks was salt, he's not 100% sure from the distance. It reminds him that he has a whole thing of salt that he's going to try and use to kind of seal off this kitchen area with like a line of salt across it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So sealing it off from like the dining room and the family room, or just the dining room?
Ooh, there's a door into the dining room.
Also, has Jason explained what he's doing in the family room with the
I mean, I assumed the three of us came down at roughly the same time, and I started doing stuff with the whiskey bottle in the family room. I don't think I actually said anything, but hearing all this like through that open door, I'm gonna be like, I'm working on it. It's nearly ready.
So yeah, what Arnik would do would be to try and spread salt in the doorway to the dining room and then to the mudroom and to the porch, so that all those doorways are kind of sealed off by salt, except for the one to the family room.
Okay. Yeah, that seems to be pretty successful. The cabinets are still opening and closing. There's still some things moving around in the kitchen, but you notice that the areas next to those openings Hank doesn't seem to go there. Doesn't seem to like move anything around where the salt is.
Okay.
And then Jason, could I get a engineering magic roll for me to set up this trap?
Oh boy. How about a 20?
That'll do. Yeah, you've got it set up pretty well. Open whiskey bottle in the middle of this ward, which is sort of well, how would you describe this ward? What does it look like?
Oh boy. I honestly am not sure. I'm not 100% certain what kind of materials we're working with here. I've never played Phasmophobia.
Oh, it can be anything that you want.
Oh. This is something Jason built or brought with him because it was in my inventory?
Yeah. It can be whatever you want it to look like. Yeah.
Oh no. This is intended to be something to catch the spirit in, right?
It can be. It can be something to either like try to trap the spirit or to keep it out of a certain area.
Okay, so this is a Ghostbusters ghost trap, except
Okay.
it's a bit bigger. It's like a foot square, about 6 inches tall. The doors are open, and the rest of the bottle of whiskey has all been poured into one solo cup that is inside the trap. And Jason is just like nonchalantly standing nearby with a ridiculous like remote control box behind his back, just like nothing to see here.
Okay.
Hey, Henry, I've got whiskey for you.
Oh. As you say, Henry, like all of the cabinet doors in the kitchen all at once open and then slam shut. And there's heavy footsteps moving towards the family room.
I am
No.
I am deliberately like the trap is between me and the kitchen.
Yeah, I figured. Arnik and Julie, do you because you're kind of towards that end of the kitchen, do you move out of the way?
Julia reaches out and pulls Arnik by the back of his shirt. Very quickly.
Okay. And yeah, there's heavy footsteps that start walking into the family room. What's your fear level at, Jason?
1.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. That probably just saved your life. So there's heavy footsteps that walk into the family room, just really loud thumps.
I just gesture at the whiskey in the cup.
Yeah, it stops sort of in front of the box for a moment. And just because I have to, you just hear this really creepy sort of noise. And then the level of whiskey in the box starts to go down.
I'm gonna try to trigger it then.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna assume your contraption that you've built works, and I'm gonna assume it has some sort of some sort of markings on it or something like that, or that are what would keep the thing inside the box, and
Yup.
it starts to shake and rattle and bounce on the ground violently. But I also need you to do a physical fortitude roll again.
Oh, good.
Because it is starting to fill the room with that same effect.
Boy, I am really tempted to buy myself an advantage right now. I have the points for it. I'm doing it.
All right.
I'm giving myself an advantage.
I mean, you'll probably be fine either way, but
Well, maybe, but I did get a 7. So, did that go through?
Oh, I see.
Okay, it did go through. I guess. It thinks it went through.
It hasn't shown up on my end yet, but I'm sure it will. So you can go ahead and give it another try.
Oh, good. Oh, an 11 is better than a 7. I did
Slightly
technically
better.
do better.
Yeah, you're feeling kind of tipsy. Probably seeing not quite like double, but there's like a second image of everything just slightly ajar. So everything's a little bit out of focus. But yeah, the box is rattling and it's staying closed.
Julie makes her way into, excuse me, the family room, and she starts shrugging off her jacket to approach the box and kind of wrap the box up in her jacket.
Okay.
May I try something? Because I remember that magic has to be at least 15 for something easy. So may I try to do anything magic related?
I mean, there's always an opportunity to try something. What is it specifically you're wanting to try? Oh gosh, sorry. I almost had to sneeze.
Try with their hands to just add kind of like almost like a sigil in the air to hopefully help contain it.
Okay. You can absolutely try. I will go ahead and give you the warning beforehand that it does seem to be working right now, and that if you fail this roll, it could mess that up.
Yeah, but the thing is that makes me worried is that we need a 15 to do easy magic.
But we're not using magic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
We got a 20 on the trap. So that already succeeded, and then the lower roll was to see if Jason got the effect from the ghost or not.
I misunderstood. Thank you. No, I won't do
worries.
it then.
Okay, cool. I was like, are you sure? Because it's working.
No, it's just literally the fact that like I knew 11 was not a 15.
Yeah.
That's all I knew.
I also do the optional rule of especially at level 1, it's like if you don't quite hit a 15, you might get like a partial success. But yeah, you're able to wrap it up in your jacket. It's still shaking and still rattling, but it seems whatever this contraption is that Jason has built seems to be holding.
It worked.
Julie looks surprisingly calm for someone holding a magic ghost rattling box. But she kind of puts a little smile on her face, and she points to the box and looks at Jason. She says, "Do you mind if I take this back to the university with me?"
No, please. A professor built it. You can just. And Jason just kind of like stumbles over towards it, just goes like, "Shouldn't have cheated."
Love that.
And then
It
like
rattles more violently.
And then goes and
You know-
sits down.
You know when you're holding your pet and somebody comes over and like bends down and talks to your pet, so you like lean the pet closer to them? That's kind of what Julie does with the box. Like she lets you talk to it. She like angles her body.
Since we're using this analogy, the box currently has the energy of an angry chihuahua. Yeah.
Great.
Is
Julie,
this
go
a
ahead.
Herzog invention, Jason?
Out of character, absolutely it is. I'm just not gonna say the name. It's just all professor.
Okay. Had to ask. That's great. Okay. You now essentially have a Pandora's box, so to speak. Are you just taking it out to the van? Or are you doing something else
yeah,
with it?
Julie would take it to the van.
Okay. All right. Well, once you get it out to the van, who else is in the house at the moment?
Arnik.
Okay.
Jason.
Andy's gonna make sure that they get the camera and the tripod to bring it back to the van.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think it's just going to be Jason and Arnik that'll notice this. You can kind of see in the family room two sort of ghostly blue, sort of glowing outlines of what looks like two little children, and they're happily playing. And in sort of in the middle of the floor, and then in two of the comfortable chairs, like a recliner or like one of those big fluffy chairs with an ottoman or something like that, in the room are the what looks like the two dads, no longer looking sort of like they've been, skewered with a saber. They just seem to be watching the kids. And you see that for a few seconds, and then it sort of just fades.
Jason just looks over and just goes, "You saw that, right?"
Yeah.
Neat. We should leave.
Okay.
All right.
Just before Carla exits, puts in the candy dish, the card to our YouTube or whatever thing that we put the recordings of up on.
Awesome.
That way they can watch it.
Fantastic. And with that, you've succeeded in all of your objectives here. Is there any last thing you want to do? Candy's putting the card in the bowls, or any last thing that any of the rest of you want to do?
So Julie gets out to the van with this box. Has it calmed down at all? Or is it still shaking?
It started to calm down a bit, yeah. It's
Okay.
just a occasional rattle now instead of angry Chihuahua energy.
Good. She unwraps the box from her jacket that she used, and she sets it on one of the like shelving units or whatever's in the back of the van. And she just starts talking to it as if it's a regular person. And she says, don't worry, Hank, we're not gonna hurt you or anything. I'm gonna take you back to my university, and I'm gonna introduce you to my professors, and they're gonna talk to you themselves, and it'll be great, and all this stuff. Like, she's having a conversation with this box.
Okay. Yeah, it you get the occasional rattle, and that's about all it does at this point.
She just takes that as like the occasional acknowledgement of what she's saying. She says something and the box rattles, and she's like, yes, I know, of course.
Oh gosh, and Hank, it's actually Hank, like, cussing you out or something. If he could actually talk.
Does she do you think she's able to get that where she's a psychic medium? Do you think she can kind of visualize the shape of the words that he's using?
Maybe not the shape, but you definitely feel the intent behind the words.
Yeah, so every time he cusses her, she's like, yep, I know. Good words.
Who's an angry ghost? All right. How about Jason and Arnik? Do you do any last things before you leave the house?
No?
All right.
Jason will like pull a notebook out of his pocket and like write down a note on it, just kind of like, we solved your ghost problem. You just have friendly ones now. No idea what happened to the window. And leave that just like on the kitchen table and just walk out.
I feel
All
like
right.
at least Julie would go back the next day and like have a conversation with these people who live here, instead of just being like, hey, we took care of your ghosts. See you never. Like, she'll probably go back the next day and like explain everything.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, congratulations. You survived your trip into this haunted house, and you correctly identified the ghost,
Hell
and
yeah.
you got rid of it. So well done. We'll wrap it up there, and then when we do Blackfeather Paranormal Investigations again next time, it'll be a different house, different ghost, and probably largely a different ghost hunting crew as well. So it's gonna be fun to do these pretty regularly on Wednesdays once we wrap up the story for Exodus. Um, Before we go on a raid, I want to let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them, and anything they want to share or plug. We'll go reverse order from how we started. So we'll start with Riley.
Yes. So my favorite part, I don't know, there were a lot of really good parts. I loved Julie vomiting in the bathroom and like drunk Julie. That was really fun to see. As well as I loved Jason challenging Hank to a drinking match and then getting upset when Hank cheated. And then I also enjoyed Candy jumping out of the window because it created a lot of situational things that had to happen afterwards. Like, oh yeah, Candy jumped out the window. So check on Candy when you're on your way up. But as for me, you can find me everywhere online at Ariely Knits, and I'll put my website out in the chat. But yeah, it was great playing with you all. It was nice to play with Matt for the first time, and I think I've been able to play with Michael once before, but it was nice to play with you again, Michael. But yeah, so yeah, that's all.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Michael, same questions. Anything what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
I'm Michael Wayne. You give me a clip, I'll give you a GIF. I think Jason really just stole this show tonight. Especially like if not for the drinking, it's for the drunkenly putting up a trap and it working. Hey, I do love just like a lot of little moments like right, because I think it's Rhea was the character, right? Or am I mixing up you with your character?
Oh, do you mean Arnik?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, Arnik. Like I love just like these little like innocent moments of like I've never been drunk before. Like it's so sweet. I'm just like I'll document it. See, I wasn't drunk, or if I was, it's not my fault. Here's document proof. It's not my fault. And
That's great.
do like that Julia just kind of for Vanessa's character just kind of ended up being kind of like the leader of it. Is like the little moments just like of where they're the expert. It sounds like they're the craziest person out of us all, yet that's what they've gotten the most right out of. And it has been the most logical and sane is because of how crazy their character is.
That's great.
I'm where you can find me next is just about wherever. I'm looking for a game. Maybe one day I'll play with you. Remember, we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you.
Awesome. Speaking of V, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah, no, there were so many good little moments. Just the campaign as a whole was absolutely great. I didn't know wholly what to expect going into it because I knew it was kind of like based off things like Phasmophobia, but I wasn't, totally sure how the character interaction was going to go, how we were going to play it, but it ended up being so much fun. Yeah, seeing Jason do the drinking contest with the ghost and having it turn out that Hank would just like lean forward and tip his glass out of his hand, I thought that was fucking hilarious. Yeah, poor Julie getting the brunt of the intoxicated shtick that Hank pulled. That was fun. She was not at all expecting to experience that, so that was really good. And then, of course, when Hank came into the bathroom and Julie's like, "Well, that's not polite." Yeah, I don't know, just everything together was really, really fun. And I can't wait to see what happens next. See how many different characters we can get in the mix. Different people joining the sessions. I think it's gonna be really interesting to see. But as for myself, today is what? Wednesday. I will be here tomorrow for the next episode of our Star Wars game, along with Matt. And on Saturday for Animus Absentus. And then next week, I think we're going to be resuming the last few episodes of Exodus as well. So stay tuned for that. And you can also find my work online if you would like to. I have an art Twitter, which is at Peppero Draws. That's Peppero like the candy. There's some anime stuff up there, some original characters, and whatnot. So if you'd like to take a look, certainly do so. That's me.
Ooh, excuse me. Awesome. And Matt, same questions.
Oh boy. Wow. I think my favorite part was absolutely the entire comedy of errors that happened in that bedroom. From the moment Candy flew out the window all the way through until we all just bailed. Like, drunk stumbled out of that room. Everything that happened up there was gold. I loved all of that. And the fact that you just rolled with me, like going like, all right, drinking contest time, Hank, let's go. That was so much fun. Yeah, you can find me here tomorrow, like V said, with the Star Wars game, where I play sweet summer child Jai, who is unfortunately having to learn that growing up sucks and is hating every moment of it. Literally the exact opposite of Jason Andrews, who I was really happy to be able to bring back for this game. I like this character. He's an idiot. I love him. And you can find me on my Twitch channel, Fifth Draw Live, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. We're currently doing Breath of the Wild over there. We'll probably segue into another Zelda game or just straight into Skyward Sword when it releases in June. Who knows? I don't. Probably should. And I have a podcast called Hard Reboot, where me and two friends take a public domain property, give it a fresh coat of paint. Our latest episode is one about the Three Musketeers, and it is a ton of fun. And that is me.
Awesome. Oh, sorry, I had you on there. That just leaves me. My favorite part. I really enjoyed Jason's reaction to the kid ghosts, actually, and the little scene where they played with the glow stick. I actually really enjoyed that. And yeah, the whole thing was really fun. It was neat watching you all try to figure out what type of ghost it was, and trying different things. And seeing V figure it out was really cool. I was curious because with there being two different or more than one ghost, which by the way, the children were shade ghosts, so I was curious to see if that might throw you off at all, but you still figured it out, which is really cool. So yeah, the whole thing was just a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the next one. And where you can find me next, I'll be GMing Elite Bebeskar tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, our Star Wars game, and we're going to be trying to steal a Star Destroyer, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's gonna be intense. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to that too. And then
it's gonna be something.
It's gonna be something. And then other things to share or plug are sponsors, which are Fundamental RPG. Looks like this. It's what we used for this game. We also use it for Animus, for Standing Stones, and for Welcome to Madison. So you can run virtually any genre on it really easily. It's a D20 system, and if you would prefer a digital version, if you want the PDF, it's currently on sale at coffee.com/raven/shop. So just like it says right there, up at the top, just add /shop to the end of that. If you go to that same website, you can also find Intrepid products, which is another sponsor, which is adventuring gear for real life, apparel, drinkware, accessories, all sorts of stuff like that with a tabletop theme to it, or adventure theme to it. And then also Die Hard Dice. They sent me this really cool prismatic rainbow set this month. It looks really good on camera and even better in person. And you can pick up your own set at dieharddice.com. If you use the code BlackfeatherMay, capital B, capital M, all one word, you can get 10% off your order. And that code should work until the end of the month as well. So very cool stuff there. And then if you want to catch up on any other show that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. Just look for the stream library and then look for Blackfeather Guild, and that's where you'll find all of our stuff. With all of that said and done, we're going to go on a raid. We've got a raid cry, which is when in doubt, BS your way out. You can copy that right out of chat, and we're going to go raid Milady Saito. Fantastic person and streamer. Definitely give her a follow if you're not doing so already. They're also doing some tabletop stuff over there right now. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.